Alright, so I am back, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Wave 2 of the Titans Return Deluxe Headmasters. Now, these are not out yet, so huge shout out to my buddy Chris for getting me these guys early so I can get the review done. And then once I'm done with them, done reviewing them, they're going to go over to Matthew B. Over Deluxe, so he can review them and then send them back to me. So that's gonna be cool. And yeah, here is Wierdwolf. Chris had requested that I take a look at him first, and I know why, because this guy is really solid. So he's got the gun here that can port into the back. Just via these two big tabs there. So that works pretty well. It's pretty cool because it's like, typically you got just the 5mm port, and whatever. I just kind of think it's cool to every now and then have weapons that specifically go to this guy. The tail is just tabbed in with that 5mm port. You can kind of wiggle it side to side. Back hips are on ball joints. Due to the transformation, you don't get too much out of them. You do get, in and out. Hinge here. Ball joint here. Ball joint here. Now, on mine, I don't know. This is not the official release figures yet. So I don't know if this paint job is how it's supposed to be, or just how this one turned out. Because if it's how it's supposed to be, it looks pretty badass. That dry brush steel on the claws to make them kind of stand out. Like it makes it look like his claws were the same color as his paws. And just because he uses them so much, he's just scraped off all the paint. Now, if it's just a sloppy silver paint job, then, that's pretty terrible. But I'm going to go with the it's done like that on purpose. Front legs are on ball joints. There's a swivel here, bends at the knee, ball joint here, and then I think it goes into a peg, but everything just kind of moves at the ball joint. Head is on a ball joint, so you get a little left, a little right, a little, not too much up and down, and then the mouth does open, revealing these nice red translucent teeth. Yeah, I think it looks great. Absolutely great. Yeah, it's a good figure. Open this up, and you pull out the little Headmaster. And here he is in his bot mode. Shoulders, ball joints, head, ball joint. Bends at the hips, bends at the knee. Nothing really spectacular. Transforming him, you just flip him over. There you go. Set him off to the side. He can also ride in here if you really wanted him to. Whatever. Alright, let's transform this bad boy. So pull out the tail. Set that off to the side. Open this section here up. And you want to pull this gray piece out. Just disconnect it from there. And then it folds up. And these two tabs here will go into these grooves here and here. Now, keep in mind, I don't have the instructions, so I hope I'm doing this right. I'm sure there's going to be some mistakes somewhere in between the next 4 figures, but we're going to go with it anyway. Fold that down. Then you want to take these pieces here. These will rotate down. And there's a tab here that'll plug into this slot here. Tab it in, just like that. Then you fold out the heel spur. And do the same thing on this side. So fold that down. Tab it in. Flip out the heel spur. Good to go. Now, this part is really simple. But I just want to highlight this because I haven't seen this on a deluxe figure in years. Years. So, this tab here. You flip up this little panel that's concealing the hand. I mean, that right there. It's so simple. But it's something that they haven't been doing. You know, they typically just fold it out of the side of the arm. You'll see that with some of the other ones of this line. But this right here is just, it's so simple. And they did it for this figure. Rotate this around. Comes back like that. Hand comes down. And then you can take this and tab it into place. But now he's got a solid forearm. There's no hollow bits there because they did that. I mean, that is just... I shouldn't be applauding them for something they should have been doing all along anyway, but I'm going to anyway because it's something I didn't think we'd ever see again. Let's rotate this around. Flip this out. Then you take the head here, and this will just fold onto the back. There's little grooves cut out for the ears. And a little groove here for the nose, so you just kind of slide it in. It doesn't actually tab in; it just kind of sits there. But that's it. It works just great. Take the head here, and you just plug it in. There we go. And there is Wierdwolf in his bot mode. Let's go over posability real quick. Head is on the swivel. Ball joint, so you get a little bit of side to side, a little up, a little down. Not much, mind you. Shoulders are on ball joints. There's a bicep swivel. Bends at the elbow. Nothing at the hands. Waist swivels. Due to the backpack kibble, it doesn't go back too far, but I mean, it does clean up fairly well. It's laying in the wrong spot for that. Hips are on ball joints. Thigh swivel, bends at the knee, and then the foot is on a ball joint. Now, on my copy, the ball joint here is a lot looser than the ball joint here. So if you want to move the foot around, like utilizing the little bit of a rocker it's got, or the little bit of a tilt, or just swiveling it, hold it here, because otherwise it's just going to untab everything. And then you're going to be moving it like that. But if you do untab it, you know, then you can really cheat and get all sorts of mobility out of it, because it'll have two ball joints instead of just the one. One thing I do like, I mean, I wish the gun was a little bit smaller, but he holds it just fine, right? Oh no, he's having difficulties holding it, because there's these little grooves on it, so I'm gonna have to shave those down. So he is having difficulty holding it. You can hold it from the side just fine. What I was going to say is just the fact that the hollow bit for the Target Master is on the underneath, so it looks better, but I'll have to fix that. And then you can take a sword here, plug it into this hand, and he is ready to go. Size comparison. Here he is with a Legends figure. Here he is with Prime, and here he is with a Seeker. So he's a little bit taller than a Seeker, so he's kind of, smaller deluxe, which, I mean, he's a deluxe, and their sizes have gotten smaller, so I guess, that's just kind of to be expected there. Now, next thing I'm going to compare him to which means I'll probably get some heat for it. Here he is next to the Fans Project version. And now, it's not entirely fair to compare the two, but that's kind of my thing. You got, what, $80 to $100 figure, and then a $15 to $20 figure. And for me, this is a no-brainer. He's better in almost every way. I honestly, and even if they were the same cost, I'd still go with him. I know it sounds crazy coming from somebody like me who I love my third party and I love a good Fans Project figure, but at the end of the day, it's a better figure. He doesn't clean up as well. We'll kind of look at this in depth. But he's kind of got this hollow chest thing going on that kind of makes him a little floppy. He cleans up a little bit better in that respect. His legs, the way they transform, again, it kind of leaves us all a little floppy. And then the weird hand gimmick, how they become the paws, and then this piece comes down to fold the rest of the hand. I mean, it looks stupid. I can't think of a more elegant word than it just doesn't look good. Looks stupid with these things. It's like, oh yeah, it came with these little bits here where you can plug the sword in to sheath it on his shoulder, because we all hold our swords on our shoulders, right? Anyway, it's just, in comparison to Fans Project's other work, it's a weak offering, and I have to say I like this guy better. I think he's a better toy. I think he looks better. I think once he's on the shelf, he's gonna be just amazing. You could hardly see any hollow bits like a typical Hasbro. A little bit here, but that's transformation there. There's not too much they could do about that. He's got it too. It's just big hollow gaps too, but that's for transformation. So it's not something that's really like, oh man, that looks bad. It's more of a oh yeah, that's there. But his forearms aren't all big and hollow like usual. It's just, he's a great figure. I really like him. I'm going to give him a solid 10 out of 10. I think he's one of the best offerings we've gotten from Titans Returns so far that I've looked at. There's still another figure that's actually better than he is that's in this line, and we'll get to him eventually. But yeah, I think he's great. And we'll look at the rest of the line, over the next few days. One thing I will say is, like, this line, the 5 deluxes that came out that are coming out in this line, it to me sounds like the big FU to Fans Project from Hasbro, because we got Wierdwolf, there's Brain or Mind Wipe, Chrome Dome. What is the other one? The helicopter, is that Highbrow, or whatever you call him, and then all of which were all Hasbro or Fans Project figures that they've done, and then they've also got Brainstorm as a Walgreens exclusive. So it's just kind of like, wow, it's the whole wave is Hasbro versions of Fans Projects, or yeah, you guys understand what I'm saying. So it seems like a big fuck you to Fans Project, which is hilarious. I like it when companies throw down the gauntlet like that, and in this case here, I don't have all the Fans Project Headmasters, but I had this guy. I will say in this case, it's an easy win to Hasbro. I've got Mind Wipe and Chrome Dome, so we'll look at those later when we get to those figures.